Alright, welcome back to Cobalt Black. Iron Core Mech Survivor launched back in August 2025, and right now it's on sale for $5.24. That's 25% off the normal $6.99 price. Sale ends January 5th, so if you're on the fence, you got about a week to decide. Here's the pitch. Take Vampire Survivor's Survivor-like gameplay, add Battle Royale shrinking zones, throw in tower defense mechanics, wrap it all in a post-apocalyptic mech setting with full voice-acted story about AI guardians protecting humanity's last shelter. Oh, and there's co-op. That sounds like it's trying to do way too much, right? Like pick a lane. But I've spent some time with this, and I want to talk about whether this genre mashup actually works or if it's just throwing ideas at the wall. So here's what you're actually doing in Iron Core. You control one of 5 AI Guardian mechs, each with completely different weapon loadouts and playstyles, and you're defending humanity's last shelter in a nuclear wasteland. The shelter has a reactor that creates safe zones, where the environment is livable, but the reactor needs fuel. Your job is to venture out into the wasteland, gather radioactive fuel while fighting off mutant hordes, and bring the fuel back to power the reactor. More fuel means bigger safe zones. That's the core loop. Now, here's where it gets interesting, and this is the Battle Royale element. Safe zone is constantly shrinking unless you're actively fueling the reactor. But here's the twist. The farther you get from the safe zone, the better resources you find. Rare upgrade materials, better loot, more fuel per node. So you've got this constant risk-reward decision. Do I venture deep into the danger zone for premium resources and risk getting overwhelmed by stronger mutants? Or do I play it safe near the reactor and accept slower progression? Layer tower defense on top of that. You're building defensive turrets at strategic choke points to protect fuel gathering operations, survivor rescue missions, and the reactor itself. 5 different tower types with different purposes. Some deal raw damage, others heal you, others create shields. And then you've got the roguelite progression. Cards drawn for upgrades during runs, permanent meta progression unlocks between runs, elemental bullet upgrades, artillery strikes, laser drones, massive AoE sound wave attacks. Plus, there's a dedicated co-op operations mode on top of the standard campaign. It's the full Survivors-like package, but with extra systems woven in. Let me tell you what actually works here, because I went in skeptical and some things surprised me. First, the shrinking zone mechanic is not just a gimmick. It creates genuine tension and meaningful decision making. In most Survivor-likes, you just kite enemies in circles and dodge. The map is static. Here, you're constantly weighing, I need to push out for that fuel node, but the zone's shrinking, and if I get caught outside when it collapses, I'm in serious trouble. That risk-reward calculation is happening constantly, and it changes how you approach the run. Second, the tower defense integration actually adds strategic depth without slowing down the action. You're not sitting there babysitting towers. You place them at choke points or around objectives, and they support your active combat. It creates a nice rhythm where you're thinking about positioning and spatial control, not just dodging and shooting. Third, the mechs feel substantial. You've got melee weapons, ranged weapons, special abilities, different movement speeds, and armor values across 5 distinct mechs. The combat has weight to it. You're not just a tiny sprite dodging, you're a hulking war machine plowing through mutants, and the game makes that feel good. And I'll give credit where it's due. The full voice acting and narrative about AI Guardians waiting a century for human survivors is surprisingly engaging for the genre. It's not just kill enemies and number go up. There's actual context and story missions. Rescue survivors, destroy mutant nests, repair infrastructure, establish satellite links for better weaponry. Some of the mission dialogue is a bit corny, but for the most part, the narrative is more than most Survivor-likes dare to include. Plus, the co-op operations mode adds another layer if you want to play with friends. The mode is more mission-based and less Survivor-like, just so you know. Now let's talk about what doesn't work, because there are some legitimate concerns here. While the game has 5 mechs, 4 maps, and co-op operations mode, if you're coming from games like Vampire Survivors with dozens of characters and stages, or Brotato with massive build variety, this still feels somewhat limited in scope. You'll see most of what Iron Core has to offer in your first 10 to 15 hours. The question becomes whether the unique mechanics and co-op mode carry the experience despite that more focused content pool. The card-based progression system is solid, but it's familiar. If you played other roguelites, you've seen this before. Draw 3 cards, pick 1 upgrade, repeat. It's well executed, but it's not innovative. Some Steam reviews mention difficulty spikes that feel more frustrating than challenging, particularly around certain elite enemies and late-game mutant swarms. I experienced this too. Sometimes it feels like the game expects you to have specific tower placements or builds, and you don't. You just get rolled. That's more trial and error than strategic challenge. And here's the long-term question. With 5 mechs, 4 maps, plus co-op, are you going to be playing this in 3 months, or is it just enjoy it for 15 to 20 hours and move on kind of game? For some people that's fine at $5 to $7, especially with the co-op adding replay value. Others who want hundreds of hours of solo content, that's a consideration. Alright, let's talk money. Current sale price is $5.24 USD, normally $6.99. There's also a free demo you can try. At $5.24, I think this is a strong buy if you're tired of standard Vampire Survivors clones. The genre mashup works. The shrinking zones and the tower defense genuinely change how you approach Survivor-like gameplay. You're getting something mechanically distinct, and the co-op operations adds significant value if you have friends who play these games. 5 mechs with distinct playstyles gives decent variety to experiment with. The full price is $6.99. It's still a solid value proposition. You're paying for mechanical innovation and quality execution. The co-op mode alone justifies the price for people who want to play with friends. Co-op Survivors likes are surprisingly rare, although this mode is more of a mission-based gameplay similar to Helldivers 1. If you measure value purely by character count and endless content, you might want to wait for a sale, but at $7, this is fairly priced for what it offers. For me personally, the unique combination is worth the full $6.99, and at $5.24 it's a no-brainer. I'd still recommend trying the free demo first. If the shrinking zones and tower defense mechanics click for you, you'll get your money's worth. The co-op mode is a bonus that extends replayability significantly. If the demo feels gimmicky or you're not vibing with the mech combat, save your money. Here's my buying guide. Buy at a sale price. If you want something genuinely different in the Survivors-like space, the co-op mode adds some significant value. Buy at full price if you have co-op partners or value mechanical innovation over massive content libraries. Wait for updates if you exclusively play solo and demand 50+ hours of varied content. And skip entirely if you're looking for traditional Vampire Survivors gameplay without extra mechanics layered on. Granted, if that is what you're looking for, might I suggest Vampire Survivors? Anyways, bottom line, Iron Core Mech Survivor is a great addition to my own growing collection, and it's an innovative genre mashup with solid execution. 5 distinct mechs, 4 maps, and a co-op operations mode that adds real replay value. The shrinking zone creates genuine tension, the tower defense adds strategic depth, and the mechs feel good to pilot. The content is focused rather than endless. But what's here is quality. The sale price of $5.24 runs till January 5th. Free demos available right now. I strongly recommend trying before buying. Steam link is in the description, along with current price, and a link to my first impressions Let's Play where I go through a full run in normal mode. If you pick this up, let me know in the comments what you think of the shrinking zones mechanic. Does it actually change how you play, or does it just feel like an annoying timer? And if you tried co-op operations, I'm curious how that mode plays with friends. That's it. If you guys made it to this part of the video and you enjoyed it, a like and a sub would be very much so appreciated. I'm trying to grow the channel right now, every little bit helps. Anyways guys, I'll be back tomorrow in another video. Peace out.